I am going to call Becky Kane. I'm going to call you on up here, Becky. What an awesome, powerful story she has.
Well, I don't know which one he's referring to, but can you see from what happened here, the energy? I'm a mess. I don't know that I can get what's in my heart out of my mouth. So if there's all these jumbled lines, you just have to put them together. Lord, help us. So I'm a skeptic. I get in the way of the Lord all the time. He knows me. So he got me ready for Revive. He started back last fall. That's how bad it is. So I'm just studying Jesus, the life of Jesus. What did he do? How did he do? What model did he leave us? And that's where my study was during the winter. And I came across an article on discipleship. And I thought, what is that? That intrigued me. I began looking at discipleship. Okay, that was an interesting study. So when we're in Arizona, my best girlfriend's out there. And she comes in one day. She says, Becky, look what I've been studying, discipleship. I thought, Lord, is that confirmation I'm on the right track? Well, then I come home, and Pastor Randy, of course, and I have been talking, and I come home, and he hands me this book on, guess what? Discipleship. I'm thinking, all right, I think the Lord's trying to tell me something here. And then, any of you been frustrated like I have when you read the news, you hear the TV, you look around the country, and you think, look at the state we're in. We know America was built on biblical principles, but what has happened? And I'm asking the Lord, look at all these churches. And I believe my Bible cover to cover every word in it. These songs we sing, I believe them. Where is that power? What has happened in our country? And my heart is wrenched. And I typed into the search bar, impotent church. Got 3 amazing articles. I share those with you if you want. Impotent church. 3 different organizations. And you know what it came down to? All 3 of them came down to discipleship. And the word impotent was in 2 titles. One title was church growth, undefined. I don't want to know about church growth. I want to know about the church. But in that article, it talked about the numbers in our church attendees versus numbers in the kingdom. They are not equal. They are not equal. And you know what makes the difference between having numbers in your church and having numbers in the kingdom? The big factor is what? Discipleship. Okay, so, all right, Lord, I finally have it. And what do I do with it? Now, most of you know I almost died in February. My fuse has become short. Time is short. Time is precious, folks. Right, Becky, what are you going to do with the rest of your time? ReviveOHIO comes along. Because, discipleship, when you start to define it and think about it, what do I do with it? I don't know. I've never been equipped. Nobody's ever taught me. ReviveOHIO comes along. I come to the informational meeting. I'm thinking, wow, these people are amazing. This whole thing is incredible. But what about discipleship? So I go in the back after the meeting, and I talk to James. And he lets me know, boy, ReviveOHIO sits on discipleship. Because when we go out and we speak to people, and the ones that let us know, hey, I want to know more. I want somebody to teach me, well, then they get plugged in. And we walk with them as far as they want to walk. Well, I'm a chicken. I suppose that's why God started on me way back last fall. So Monday morning comes this week, and some of you know I've got some challenges, and I had some reasons for not wanting to get out the door. But in my heart, I knew they were excuses. And so I thought, I'll just go at noon. But I knew if I don't get out the door this morning, I'll have more excuses this afternoon. So I came out the door. And all these things Randy said, to come experience the Revive team was absolutely phenomenal. I've had those moments where I've been able to enjoy a spirit-led event or a moment or an hour, and you see the Lord move. This was all week. This is a lifestyle. These people are so passionate. They were genuine. They're transparent. They're real. They come in shorts and jackets and jeans and you name it, and we got it. They're comfortable. And they take themselves to the street. So I got to enjoy all the components of ReviveOHIO this week, and it was amazing. Went on the street, and the encounters that we had were exactly what they told us we'd experience. Everything. It was just like they said. So they served us lunch, or the churches served lunch, And one day I was sitting back there with the pastors, or a couple of them, and we're all talking. And Pastor Larry said, you know, the pastors are afraid too. I must add this glazed over look, so he goes on to explain. It took him 3 times before I finally got it. And he was explaining, you know, when these pastors go to church or go to seminary, they're taught the word, and they're taught how to bring the word. But for them to get out of that pulpit, out of that comfort zone, they have fear, just like I did. Isn't that amazing? And so that was all confirmed among the 2 pastors I was talking with. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Well, here's how God worked in one of the encounters. So I'm out with Dawn. Lake, can you guys put that picture up? Dawn was wearing this shirt, and I just loved it. And it's just spoken volumes to me all week long. So I'm out with Dawn, and we come upon this vehicle. And, of course, Becky's the chicken. And he's saying, Becky, this one's yours. And what I wanted to say was, I'm not ready. And I felt like I was shoved. And I looked over at him, and I thought, well, he shoved me to this car. And he wasn't close enough to shove me. And by now, we're close enough to the car, I can't stop. It's like, okay, Lord, I hear you. This is what Revive has done. The church has left the building. I'm telling you what, I'm messed up. The worship, the stories, it was amazing. And the teams that went out, I'm going to tell you, they were, Allie, we were 16 up into our 80s, like Pastor Randy said, from all over the place. I don't care what you look like, what you think you look like, what you think you are, what you can and cannot do. You fit in, because that's God's model. He established that in Jesus Christ. So when we come back in at lunch, we would share these testimonies, and I'm going to tell you, it's just inexplainable. Okay, it's just inexplainable. And I got to thinking, when we went out, you know what? Our hearts were wrenched. When you go out, it's easy, all right? It's just so simple. And when you, if the Lord opens up that window and you say, how can I pray for you? The brokenness that you hear, I'm telling you what, when you say that to people, we go by each other all the time and we're not paying attention. We don't have time, we're busy. But when you purpose to take the time and you go to somebody, say, how can I pray for you? The dam comes down. And I'm telling you, there's so many hurting people out there. And we would come in and our hearts were wrenched as we would tell these stories. And then there's the times where you run to other believers and you pray together and you share the praise. This Revive is not something that can be explained. It can only be experienced, and I know that's by God's design. So the last meeting we had on Friday night, when we met together, and they went out Saturday. See, it just continues on, right? But the Revive gave us this challenge. They want a remnant. We had a remnant meeting, and they explained what that was, and let's get together, and where are we going to go from here? They came and deposited it into us, but what are we going to do with that? So the challenge was, let's have 40. Out of all the churches, out of all the people that came together in Fairfield County, let's have a remnant of 40. I don't know if they got them. Jamie, do you know? I would think. I saw the cards go up front. New Hope, here's my challenge to us. Come be one of the 40. Let it mess you up. Let it change your life. Do something. I'm telling you what, this thing was so bathed in prayer. Oh, you know what? So the first thing we do, we get together in prayer. All right, how am I going to pray for an hour, right? It's like, oh, I almost skipped out on that step. And we get together and we pray. It's like, oh my gosh, the hour is gone. Where did it go? And then whoever's up front leading the next step says, come on, and we're still praying. Can you imagine? If you have wondered, Lord, where's the power? Where are you? If you've questioned the church, if you want more, if you want to make a difference, if you understand time is short, if you understand what Pastor Randy said, no, Pastor Randy didn't say it, Jesus said it. It is not optional. You know, I've skirted that verse. You know, I've reasoned myself around, go make disciples. Oh, that's not. I mean, I've twisted that verse every which way. And this last fall, God just slapped me, and He said, "No." I said, "Go, make disciples." That's an imperative sentence. We don't have an option. So come out to Revive. Be one of the remnant. Get equipped. Get prepared so that when you're all these places, Pastor Randy said, God can use you. Let's just see. It's not a matter of building the church. It is a matter of building the Big C church. Let's see how many we can take to heaven with us.